and it's been attracted worldwide attention and has been translated into many languages, among them Chinese, Italian, Romanian, and Spanish. Dr. Harris has been a longtime practitioner, unity practitioner, and pursued unity studies under Dr. Eric Butterworth in New York City. Forever a student, Herbert has actively pursued his religious, esoteric, and philosophical and metaphysical studies throughout the world. He has lectured at numerous organizations and churches all over this country. He's a former director of the Science of Living Institute and is the CEO of the Life Skill Institute Incorporated, an international personal and leadership development corporation. He presently resides in Wilmington and is engaged in speaking and writing on personal growth and spiritual transformation. That's our Dr. Harris. We'll be hearing from him. And is there anyone here for the first time? Anyone at home? Well, thank you for joining us. We're grateful to welcome you to our spiritual community. Let's say our statement of being and affirmation together. There's only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, the omnipotence. And the affirmation, I am a loving expression of God. I'm here for
always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Know the difference between sleeping with someone and sleeping with someone you love. I love you is no pickup line, so always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When those dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. When it's hot, eat a root beer popsicle. Shut off the AC and roll the windows down. And let that summer sun shine. Always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay.
There's no more them, it's only us, the human race. And so in that moment, let us, especially in America, cure the divisions, the hate, and once again, just be human beings, loving human beings. Thank you. So today, our topic is, I meet no one but they is, I am loving. I am loving through and through. Let us say that together. I am loving through and through. The world sure needs more loving. Of course, I use the Bible as a source of spiritual reference. All of our teachings are really based on Scripture because the Bible is the greatest personal development book there ever was. Our book was translated, and by the way, our message is from our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. This is the fundamental, the foundation for a lot of what we do. But the book itself is based on spiritual principles. The principles in the Bible, it's not so much that he said, she said, and they did, and we did, but it's everything in the Bible. The theme was figure it out. That anything in life that you encounter, there's always a solution. And so if I meet no one but me, then all the no good, raggedy people, the people you meet who might not be the ones you need to hang out, you're calling on them. Is that my friend CJ? Oh, about myself. Now that's important. Feeling gets the blessing. The first law of success says a mind. You know, the Bible is written for men, I tell you. It says, a man shall have whatsoever he thinks in his heart. I say a mind shall have whatsoever it thinks in its heart. So it's always about the feeling. Maya Angelou said, I may not remember what you said for me. I always think about the theory of relativity. Actually, my major in college was physics. I wanted to be a physicist. I wanted to go to the moon. One of my projects was, is gravity instantaneous? And I remember asking my dad, and he said, who cares? He wasn't exactly a motivational person, you know. I thought I was having a huge breakthrough. But physics, one of the key cornerstones of physics is the Einstein formula, E equals mc squared. When we interpret it on a spiritual plane, E is energy. And this is really the source of the process for the atomic bomb, for the hydrogen bomb. E, energy created, equals mass, manifestation, M, times c squared. C is the speed of light squared. 186,000 miles per second squared, that's a big number. And so the atomic bomb says that if you destroy a little bit of mass, you can create an incredible amount of energy. And that's why when an atomic bomb drops, Alan's been in the military, when an atomic bomb drops, it's not a good thing. Okay? But on a spiritual level, E is energy. It's vibration. Energy is it's a lot like desire. If your desire is deep, then your ability to get the results is enhanced. If your desire is weak, then first bump in the road, what are you going to do? Quit. Oh, this road is not for me. All this getting rich stuff is not cracked up for all this. It's raining outside. How can I go down and get rich in the rain? So the level of desire is what makes you magnetic to attract. So whatever the vibration you have, that energy, there's a corresponding mass manifestation. So when you have an energy of love and you've met those people. So we have to reprogram our habits from being tardy to being on time, from being disorganized. Disorganization is a terrible habit. From procrastinating to do it now. We have to reprogram our relationships. Now that takes some working. Because when we reprogram our relationships, you know it's harder to get rid of people than to attract them. Have you noticed that? I mean, when you attract some losers, I mean, it's hard. And it seems like the worse they are for you, the harder it is to get rid of them. I tell you that. Now that's a whole story in itself. But the problem with this, the challenge with the relationships thing is the mastermind principle, the master process. Once you acknowledge that your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and your relationships now determine your choices, you're now in a position to make better choices. You recognize that you're the common denominator of all of your experiences, and so you change ourselves, you change the world, you change the people you meet by changing your thoughts. The unity principle, life is lived from within out, really embraces all of this. Because it's really saying, it's always about what you're sending out. It's always about the vibration. Your interpretation of life is based on who you are. Two people can go to the same party. One person says it's a great party. People are banging in there. The other person says it's a terrible party. They all stuck up. They don't like me. They're looking at me strange. And so acknowledge that we are where we are because of the choices you make in your thoughts, emotions, habits, and relationships. Number 2, be honest with yourself. See, as long as you're not honest with yourself, you can never come to a right conclusion. It's like operating on a lie. If it's to be, it's up to me.
If it's to be, it's up to me.
Give yourselves a hand. I believe you. And then finally, progress. So reflect. In other words, reflect, assess, address, progress. And to realize that life is about going and growing. That we never arrive. That we're always growing. The day we stop growing, we're done. So to keep growing and going. The river of time never stops. You got to keep swimming. If you stop swimming, then the river's going to take you wherever it wants you to go. So to summarize, number 1, live life from within out. Acknowledge that we are where we are because of our thoughts, our emotions, our habits, and our relationships. Number 2, be honest with yourself. Accept the good and the bad. Whatever it is, you did it. Number 3, take responsibility for change. You can use this I meet no one but me as a great tool. And then number 4, have a daily method of operation. So when you go home today, I want everybody to be thinking about me. Say, what did he say? What did he say? Look at the recording on the internet. But go home today and look in the mirror. And look in that mirror and say, hey, I got positive thoughts. Look in that mirror and say, I have positive emotions. Look in that mirror and say, I can change my habits. Replace the bad ones with good ones. And look in that mirror and say, I attract good people into my life. I attract. That was fun. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. And then this space of peace and relaxation, the space of calmness. I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. Once more. I am at peace with myself. And in this state of peace and relaxation, let us feel the emotion of joy. And see that time in which your life was filled with joy. Maybe the joy of being married, the wedding. Maybe the joy of seeing your children, your grandchildren graduate. Maybe the joy of seeing your firstborn for the first time. To see Now let us feel the emotion of love. That emotion that made your heart just jump a little bit. Maybe it was the first love. Maybe it was the love of a job well done. That love of self when you've done exactly the way you wanted to do. Let the love sink in. Let us affirm, I am love together. I am love. Let us see a and it is done.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Harris. My goodness. If you've been moved or inspired by something you've heard today, as I have, hoo-wee, I've really enjoyed that message. We ask you to think about the love of God as it's being drawn closer and closer to us. And with that consciousness in mind and the underlying principles of giving and receiving, I think my consciousness is saying the more I give,
Looking back, I see a kid who was just afraid, hungry, and old before his time. Through the years, I've known my share of broken heart and from the past at last, and all I've left behind. Could it be that I am finally learning that I'm deserving of love and a peaceful heart? I won't tear myself apart no more for trying. I'm tired of lying to myself, trying to buy what can't be bought. It's not living that you're doing if it feels like dying. It's crying, growing old before your time. Just crying, growing old before your time.
yes, thank you, Chris. Thank you. You keep us together, you make us look and sound marvelous. Yes, you do. We have a few announcements. Today is Soup Sunday in the community room. Join us after the service. Kirtan meditation today is at 12:30 in the sanctuary here. There's a stepping stone workshop that has been postponed. That was to be next weekend. We're going to do it another time. We do have a Prosperity Plus is coming up next weekend, and we're being guided vitality by renowned spiritual thought leader Mary Morrissey, who is going to and all is well.